Hey everybody, Chad Hasty here, host of the Chad Hasty Show. When President Obama was getting ready to leave office, some reporters did ask the former president, hey, President Obama, is there ever a time that, maybe you'll want to talk to us again? I mean, the press really loved Barack Obama. And President Obama said, yeah, you know what, if something pops up, I want to go on vacation. I'm a regular guy now. I want to go on vacation, hang out with Michelle a little bit, and really stay out of the spotlight for a while. But, if something pops up, maybe I'll speak about it. Maybe I won't. But remember, as he told folks that I'll be with you every step of the way. Well, there has been a tradition, a long-standing tradition, that former U.S. presidents don't criticize the current commander-in-chief. You look at former President George W. Bush, even though I'm sure he really disagreed with some of the decisions that President Obama made, former President Bush stayed silent. He didn't say a word about it. That doesn't ring true for President Obama. 10 days President Obama waited before he had to sound off. There was a release from Kevin Lewis, the spokesperson to former President Obama, this having to deal with President Trump and the so-called Muslim ban, travel ban, refugee ban, whatever it may be that has been completely overblown by the media. But this was a statement released by Barack Obama. Former President Obama. President Obama is heartened by the level of engagement taking place in communities around the country. In his final official speech as president, he spoke about the important role of citizens and how all Americans have a responsibility to be guardians of our democracy, not just during the election, but every day. Citizens exercising their constitutional right to assemble, organize, and have their voices heard by their elected officials is exactly what we expect to see when American values are at stake. With regard to comparisons to President Obama's foreign policy decisions, as we've heard before, the president fundamentally disagrees with the notion of discriminating against individuals based on their faith or religion. Well, luckily, that's not what the so-called Muslim ban, travel ban does. It discriminates on where you live. Remember, and I would remind Democrats this, 82% of the world's Muslims are still allowed into the United States. In fact, the travel ban that went into place, 109 people out of 330,000 or so were detained for a period of time, whether that be a few hours, whether it be longer than that, which some of them, I agree, were wrong. But 109 people, all of them were let go. None of them were thrown in jail. If you were a British national and you're Muslim, you're not banned from coming to the United States. If you're French and you're Muslim, you're not banned. Canadian, same thing. This has to deal with 7 terror hotspots that, yes, the Obama administration labeled as terror hotspots. This has to deal with that. It is a temporary measure taken by President Donald Trump. You can watch yesterday's video, get more of my thoughts on this whole thing. But the larger picture of this is former President Obama waiting only 10 days to criticize the current commander-in-chief. That is pathetic. President Obama, again, go on vacation, sir. You are no longer the commander-in-chief. You have every right to speak, of course, but this nation at this time needs one commander-in-chief, one president of the United States. You already have some in the liberal press saying that this is a resistance that is growing. Only 33% of people polled by Rasmussen opposed President Trump's actions on the refugee travel ban. Only 33%. President Obama getting all up in arms about this is pathetic. He needs to stay silent on this. He needs to look at his predecessors and take from an example from what they have done. You stay silent as a former president unless something truly egregious happens. This is why you look at former President George W. Bush, God bless him, because you know that he wanted to sound off so many times on what Barack Obama did, but he stayed with tradition, and he went, you know what, there needs to be one commander-in-chief at a time. The rest of us need to stay silent. Good job to former President George W. Bush. And again, 10 days, Barack Obama waits before he wants to sound off against Donald Trump. To me, that's pretty pathetic. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. You can listen online, KFYO.com. Follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. Have a great day, and don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and do that. And, we'll talk to you next time here on KFYO on YouTube.